All right, so here in the top right-hand corner of Daybreak, we have our red Protoss player from SK Gaming, down 1-2 in this set, despite the fact that he is our reigning Fight Club champion. It is MC. And his opponent down here in the bottom left-hand corner, blue Terran player up 2-1 in this best-of-9 from TSL. It is Polt.
Yeah, Polt versus MC, a really cool rivalry that goes back a while in StarCraft 2, and it's definitely still providing good games for us. I mean, there's certain like pairs in StarCraft 2 that whenever they get together and play, they always produce really entertaining games. Leenock and Clyde come to mind. Like whenever those two guys play each other, it's awesome. Or like Clyde versus Tester is always one of my favorite. Like
pretty much anytime Clyde plays.
Yeah, exactly. Or did I just call him Tester?
Yes, you did.
Wow, he has not been Tester for a long time. When I say Tester, I mean SKS/Trickster.
Yeah.
He's now a StarTale Trickster, yeah.
Yep.
But originally he was Tester.
That is true. Yep. So it's okay. This isn't the Ye Old Map tournament still.
Gotta
get out of the mode.
I can't. I'm just so happy with it.
Stuck in a Ye Old mind.
That's right. The Old mind. Come on.
I'm okay with that.
Pronunciation, please. Come on.
Well, let's see here as MC's going to scout pretty early on. It was, well, this is actually kind of an interesting decision. It looks like he may be saving up for a very, very quick Nexus, but once again, an interesting time to scout. He decided not to pylon scout as we saw the probe actually head back to mining, but a resupply later, he's like, yeah, I actually do kind of want a Nexus first, so.
Well, it's nice to kind of get a little bit of, oh, this is interesting. It's nice to get a little bit of, you know, a little bit of extra minerals. Why not?
Yeah.
What is that probe doing on the right side of the map? That's
checking
my
for
question.
proxies.
Yeah, he is looking for proxies here before he goes for that Nexus first, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Polt does like to throw in cheeses every once in a while, and
yep.
he is ahead right now, which is a good time to cheese your opponent.
You know, Polt is another player in my mind. We talked about MC's transformation from 2-base to playing really greedy to kind of finding that right macro mode. Polt is another player that kind of built reputation off of a lot of strong 1-base play and quick aggression, things along those lines, but has developed it into an incredibly versatile player.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's definitely one of those top Terrans that have just a ton of different builds they can do. You know, MKP and MVP would definitely be in that category as well, where they just have so much they can draw off of.
Yeah, and it looks like he's MC is going to run back and continue to pressure this SUV, just being as annoying as possible. Not going to affect the build time of the command center all that long, but pulls an additional SUV off the line. Yep,
definitely good to do. No reason not to do some sort of harassment in this case.
Yep.
And wow, he's actually doing a decent amount of damage to that SCV, pulling back before he takes too much damage anyway.
Yeah, and let's see now as MC putting up that first gateway, so nothing too out of the ordinary for him. Cybernetic Score following that up, just going for a 1-gas variety for the time being. We'll see a lot of players follow this up with an immediate 2-gas after they throw down that gateway after a quick Nexus like that.
Yep. Now, Daybreak is certainly a map that Protoss players like to take into the late game. The running paths are fairly narrow in most areas, so you can control that really well with Templar and Colossi, things like that. Basically, the very basic tenets of what Protoss like to do versus Terran these days. They don't like to have a lot of early wins, a lot of 2-base stuff like we see maybe in Protoss versus Zerg. They like to get into that late game situation, because right now, Protoss is very, very strong against Terran in the late game. So, MC, we'll have to see if he decides to expand pretty quickly. I think we're probably going to see him stay a little bit longer on 2 bases this time than we did last time.
Yeah, well, once again, just staying on 1 gas, though, so it still kind of hints at a strong gateway attack of some sort.
Certainly could be.
I mean, of course, maybe a smaller variety than the 3-base 8-gate that we kind of saw hinted at on Antigua Shipyard.
Could also be another quick Nexus, too. It'd be a little bit odd, but I suppose it's a possibility here.
And looks like Polt moving into 4 racks after this, double gassing, nothing too out of the ordinary for him, actually going up in additional racks than he has over the past, couple of games there.
I really like this, actually. This is this build that Polt is doing is actually kind of a response to the really high gateway timings that Protoss players have been doing, especially on maps like Daybreak. If you get 4 barracks out, you can get your upgrades a little bit quicker. You can have, of course, a bigger army. You do delay your tech, but it's actually quite good against exactly what MC is doing right now.
Yep, big ol' 6-gate. So with that 1 gas, that's why I said that 1 gas was screaming big gateway attack to me, but we'll see what he wants to follow this up with now as MC is going to finish up that Warp Gate research pretty quickly. I believe, there was 1 bunker that was established for Polt, but that's the only one he has so far. We'll see if he uses a scan. Of course, that scan may come here out in the middle of the open. If he scans towards the back, it'll be a dead giveaway.
Yeah, certainly could be. But Polt, you know, like I mentioned, he's going to have a decent army here. The big question is Polt going to realize that something's up and then build enough bunkers to respond? Because you really should have probably 3 just to stay safe. You can survive with 2 bunkers in this case, but, well, this is going to be an 8-gate now. So, yeah, 8-gate on 2 base. Very all-in from MC. So, yeah, he's going to need at least 3 bunkers. If he doesn't have 3 bunkers, there's just no way that he's going to stop this.
All right, well, he's only got 1 up for now. Let's take a look at his vision. Doesn't look like he scans in a while. Don't even know if he has energy to do so. It looks like he actually does. Hasn't allocated that quite yet.
Okay, there's a second bunker going down.
Yeah.
And if he does scout gateways at the natural, I think he might throw... Okay, yeah, he's just going to throw down a 3rd one. He knows it. I mean, with this type of thing, with this situation where you're not sure, it's totally worth it to just throw down that 3rd bunker and just stay safe, you know? So now, Polt has a pretty decent chance of holding it off. It's still going to be a very intense fight, but he's prepared himself more or less adequately.
Yeah, and there's no sentries with this quite yet. There, finally, the first sentry moving in, so it's going to be very difficult to zone out any repairing SCVs. We'll see if that actually harms MC a little bit. He's planning on making his way up now. Probe actually does go down. Here comes MC. He's got to get those zealots up to the front. They're kind of trapped. Now slowly filtering around. He uses 1 force field to go after the left bunker, but he hasn't been able to stop the repair all that effectively quite yet, and his the numbers are getting extremely low. What a hold from Polt.
Yep, that's right. I mean, Polt just so solid. He knew exactly what he needed to do to hold this. MC, you know, with the Zealots, maybe did botch the attack a little bit here. But overall, I mean, just having 3 bunkers makes such a huge difference. I mean, like I said, you can get away with 2, but if you've got 3, 99% of the time, you're perfectly fine. That probe just doesn't deserve to live.
Put out of his misery, I suppose.
Yep.
All right.
So look at this. Now we have Stim and Combat Shields finishing for Polt.
Yeah.
Starting that Marauder production as well. He's going to be in such great shape.
No sentries for MC. Just didn't have the gas to allocate to it, I suppose. But, man, that came back and bit him in a big way. So, factory coming up now for Polt. Twilight Council about to hit for MC.
Yeah.
And we'll see what he wants to move into after that.
Yeah, well, he's going to get Twilight Council for Blink probably because he knows a really good chance of drop play is in the cards right now from Polt. I mean, when you hold off an attack like that, and you've got like your factory on the way, a lot of times they're like, all right, I know you're behind on tech, so I'm just going to try to pressure you with my bio, use my medevacs to drop you. And so I think we're going to see Blink right away from MC. Oh, yeah, no, actually, all right.
Okay.
Interesting. And a Dark Shrine. Okay.
Charge and a Dark Shrine. This is kind of cool. He's going to try and pressure the front, of course, and we're going to hope that Polt has saved up enough scans for when that attack eventually comes, or he'll be able to use him in his army composition. But with Charge, this will be a different way of getting the Charge-led Archon, but less reliant on gas.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. MC has always played the matches a little bit differently than a lot of other Protoss have, and, you know, when you're behind Dark Shrine, that's what they say, right? So there you go. We'll have to see how well it works out for him. Dark Shrines take a long time, but it looks like Polt's got a little while until he's going to attack yet. I don't think he's got... Does he have 2 medevacs out yet?
No, he does
quite
not.
Yet, no. Okay,
he's actually
about
just transferring
those,
these over.
Yeah.
And third base on the way, but this, you know, actually still he may have had an opportunity to get in there and do a bunch of damage because as we can see, MC was investing. He had Charge, 1-1, and a Dark Shrine all trying to come up at the same time.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that Polt didn't decide to just go once Stim and Combat Shields finished. Wouldn't have been a bad idea because he knew his opponent was so sentry light. But this isn't going to really hurt him too much either, honestly.
No, not particularly. Polt, though, he is going to be able to find a couple of these forward pylons, but a few DTs are making their way in off to the right. Yep. We'll see. Does he have any sort of defense up at the front? He has the engineering base, but of course no missile turrets down to prevent this.
Yeah. There we go. He saw the shimmer. He saw it, and he killed 3 of those Dark Templar. Wow.
Polt, why are you so good?
He is so observant. He's more observant than an observer. Polt is an observer, man.
He is.
He doesn't even need to be invisible. He's just like, hey,
he's got,
man,
like,
I'm right here. What are you going to do?
Jock G levels of picking up on cloaked units.
Well, that is a lot of gas that is now not going to be sentries for MC. It's going to make it very, very difficult for him to hold off this attack.
Yep, putting up a Templar Archives as well. Man, MC needs a prayer. This is like this. He needs the Hail Mary at the end of the game now to connect, and it is possible to get that with that number of charge lots and a perfect force field, but it's going to be incredibly difficult.
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing is it's kind of funny. Polt has always kind of tended to be MC's kryptonite, so if that continues in this match, that'll be
hysterical.
A bit amusing, to say the least.
Yeah.
But looks like Polt is ready to get a little bit aggressive. I don't think that command center is going to get started. Oh, wow. Hold position DT for the win. Oh, never mind. He's got the SCV.
There he goes. All right. And there's the scan. Is able to clean that up eventually. Yep. But pylon down at the third. MC not going to be able to establish that for any length of time.
Yep, using that factory, too, to make sure that he's always got an out in terms of force fields and things like that. I love that Terran players do that with their factories now.
All right, well, we'll see if Polt, if he's just going to try and press this attack now. It looks like he is. MC spreading out his forces. There's the stim. 1-1 is already finished for MC. We'll see if that's going to be enough. Trying to make his way in with those charge lights now. Not able to get the best around. In fact, only about a third of the Zealots are attacking at any one given point in time. Yeah. Now finally a few Stalkers up in the back as well. Zealots do get a pretty good engage, and it looks like they are going to force this army back, but Polt's macro is just too good right now, and even with this, he's up now by about 70 supply.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that even though Polt isn't winning this fight specifically right here, he is still certainly winning by a lot overall.
Oh, yeah.
He's got his third base up. He kind of could afford to just kind of sit there and do this, but Storm is coming out for MC, so he still does have a bit of a chance, but just very, very far behind right now. He spent so many minerals on those Zealots too.
Yep, and really needs to get himself an expansion established, but there's that Nexus coming up, but Polt is going to be able to pressure that all day.
And all night. But there really is no day and night on Daybreak, so...
Yes.
Which is ironic,
it's the break of day, isn't it?
But it's in space, there's no day.
I don't know. Who's to say that? Have you ever been to space? Can you confirm that?
I've seen a lot of space movies. And if you're not on a planet that orbits a sun, there can be no day.
I guess. I don't know.
Simple science.
I'm not going to take your word for it until you've been to space. So
I'm sorry.
All right, well, Polt, he's going to make a big drop. There's really not a lot here for MC to defend this. And if he pulls any units out of position, which looks like he's going to have to, and I'm sorry, 6 Stalkers are not going to be able to clean that up. Nope. With a few charge lots, we'll see if they're able to. Yep. Bringing back the rest of the forces, and that does give Polt an opportunity to move right into the third.
Yep, and did he focus down those Templar? It looks like he did, and he doesn't quite get the Nexus immediately, but we'll have to see if he can micro well enough to take out these Zealots.
Yeah, he's got a ton of units coming up behind this as well, and even though charge lots and Archons are very, very strong, that is just the sheer damage output of these bio forces is not going to be anywhere near enough.
Yep, that could be it actually right there. Polt just has an overwhelming force at this point. He's got Stim, he's got 3-3 on the way. Couple nice storms going down for MC, but the damage could just be too high, I think, in this case.
Yep, and unfortunately, the reinforcements just continue to stream in now for Polt. He's even taking out these Archons. And like I said, he's double the supply of his opponent. Even if this one attack doesn't win, the amount of forces that he has out are just so overwhelming that he will be able to crush this eventually.
MC's so good with the Storms, though, really kind of living as long as he can. The combination of Storm and Charge Lot is great, but GG, TSL.Polt up 3-1.